Four. Oh. Again? It is perfectly all right. I have just had everything over the course of this morning to simulate a flashbang.
Okay, okay. Perfect. Ba, ba, ba. Let me know when we are ready to go. Of course.
First panel of the day. I get to do all of the testing.
Correct. And remember to stay hydrated. Good.
Oh, yeah, and if anything goes wrong, it's going to go wrong now.
No, please, no. No. Everything's going to be okay.
It's all right. I'm Shakespearean trained. If something goes wrong, I can just project.
Okay, good. So, everyone, welcome to EponaFest. We can say day 2. Did you slept well? Was everything okay? How was the concert? Did you have fun? I hope so. I hope so. I hope you danced till you were like dead on the floor like this. So, today we're starting our day 2 here in the main hall with a panel by Fiora. Hello, Fiora.
Hello.
Which is called Your Mind and Ponies. So, people, I am leaving the stage to you, Fiora. Have a good day, everyone.
So, this is also referred to as Bernie Church by my now. I have 30,000 YouTube followers as of this morning, but this is referred to as Bernie Church by them as an affectionate nickname. I have given it numerous times. The reason why the panel says one last ride is because I didn't expect to be able to give it again because I left the United States in December, and the last time I ran this panel was in October. However, I'm going to give some background about me, and then I'm going to get into the panel. Before I begin, this panel is going to discuss a lot of adult topics. This includes depression, anxiety, anger, parental problems, and death. There is a whole list of things that the show actually goes over with subtext and directly addressing that adults find appealing. If at any time you feel the need to step outside and take a breather, I completely understand and will not be offended. If you feel the need to cry, that's fine. I'm probably going to cry before the end of the panel. And if you feel the need to hug someone, please get consent first. Now, I am Fiora. I have been in the field of human communication and sexuality for 12 plus years. This is the 13th year I will be presenting science panels, and the 13th year I'll be doing research. I have a associate's in biology, a bachelor's in human sexuality, those are from the University of Delaware, and a master's in human communication, that is from the University of Rutgers. I could be your marriage counselor tomorrow. I don't want to be. Please don't ask. If I say something that you do not understand, because I understand everyone here is, there may be a language barrier, please raise your hand and I will rephrase in order to make it easier to understand what I am saying. If I am talking too fast, I apologize. I will try to remind myself to slow down. This is the pony I write of Wandering Sunrise for the Fallout Equestria novel Dead Tree. I am finishing that series this summer. Next to that is my VTuber avatar, which I usually appear as on the internet. Lastly, I legally published Fallout Equestria Dead Tree. There was the Legally Publishing Your Fan Fiction panel yesterday, but that is not here nor now. In the meantime, let's get started. So, first thing about friendship, the most obvious thing. How do you make friends? How do you talk to people? How do you talk to people without it seeming a little too weird? Well, it's awkward for everybody. Let's see what the show does. No sound? So this is the very first episode, very first thing My Little Pony Friendship is Magic does.
Yes. Yes, it does. You know why? Because I'm right. I'll check on the preparations as fast as I can, then get to the library to find some proof of Ponyville have interesting
So this is what you expect to happen when you introduce yourself to a new person.
Twilight, just try. Hello?
Am I wrong?
Well, that was interesting, all right.
This is what actually happens.
Well, how'd it do, Miss Twilight?
You can't get them to be
Later, let's
quiet.
make a point.
You can't get them to stop talking.
We here
You
at
are going to
Sweet
sit
Apple
there and now have a
Acres sure do like
30-minute
making new
conversation.
Friends, actually, so, what can I do you for? Well, I am, in fact...
So, from my perspective, how does this get implemented? Watch this. I had to take a 15-hour plane ride to get to Ireland about 4 months ago. I talked to the person next to me. I introduced myself, tried to be friendly with them, and testing. And tried to, actually interact with them for a little bit. And it was fantastic. I now know far too much about college women's soccer, aka football, because his daughter goes to University of Salt Lake and is on their soccer team and is... I now know far too much and am apparently going to be watching the next game. Whether I really wanted to or not, it doesn't matter anymore because I kind of want to just see his daughter play. His name's Shamil, by the way. That was just the interaction to fly over to Europe. It is so much easier to talk to other people once you know their name. That's why we have badges. Not just to verify that we're supposed to be here, but they all have our names on them. So we can easily say, hello, my name is, or you can just read the person's name because you're both interested in the Rainbow Dash plushie sitting at someone's vendor hall. Now, I did say I'd get into some heavy stuff. Let's start with something heavy immediately. We've all felt guilty. Let's talk about it.
To punish myself for the evil
So,
I caused as
I've seen some weird guilt complex levels, but never apocalyptic, literally in the sense that the guilt complex is going to end the world.
For how much Equestria suffered
Except
because
Luna.
of me. But it seems I have not learned my lesson. For now I have only made you suffer more.
Guilt is a self-replicating cycle. What that means is you feel guilty. You think about the thing you did. You feel worse. You feel guilty. You cannot break this cycle entirely on your own. Luna can't break it on her own.
I am no better now than I was then. My creation is about to turn the world into a living
The more she punishes
nightmare.
herself for feeling guilty,
But look at what
the
you're
worse the
doing.
situation becomes.
Nightmare Moon would have wanted the Tantabus to turn Equestria into a nightmare. You're doing everything you can to stop it. Don't you see? That
However-
proves you're not the same pony you were then. Every pony who knows you knows that Nightmare Moon is in the past. We all trust you, Luna. Do you trust us enough to believe we're right?
Any self-replicating cycle can be broken by the interference of someone else you trust. This is the basis of therapy. This is the basis of talking to other people to get out your feelings. So, guilt is a self-replicating cycle. We have many of these: depression, guilt, anger. And we're going to get into all of them, piece by piece, and how the show addresses each one. So I made you all feel guilty. You can be mad at me. It's fine. I understand. Please don't throw a tomato. Now, what happens when you bottle up your anger? Well, it doesn't go well.
Ice cream.
Trixie is doing exactly what Starlight asked her.
Castle is made out of crystals.
Precisely what Starlight wants. But no matter what Trixie does, Starlight gets more angry.
Start moving if we want to make it to the Crystal Empire.
When you're mad at someone,
Because you seem a little.
all you can do
What's
is
the
get
word?
more mad at them.
No,
Also, best line of the show.
I am great. Did your saddlebag just glow? No. Getting home. Go give it here. What's in this?
So, to give a humorous example of being mad at someone, you're angry at someone. They're sitting across from you, across eating lunch. Look at her over there sitting there eating saltine crackers like she owns the place. You're just going to get more mad at the person no matter what they do. More importantly, bottled up anger results in explosive anger. Later in that episode, when that bottle shatters, everyone who's within range of that magical anger suddenly wants to kill Trixie. There's like no subtlety about it whatsoever. If, however, I am willing to address anger properly, that is, walk up to a person and go, "Hi, I'm mad at you. Here's why. Can we work this out?" And the other person be receptive to the idea that maybe they did something that upset me, we don't have to be angry at each other anymore. Diffuses the situation entirely. If Starlight had just told Trixie she was mad at her at the beginning, this entire episode would be moot. It would not be necessary. But she didn't. And then, well, Trixie gets chased around for like 5 minutes by an angry, raging Bronco. So, anger also leads to other places. When you become angry at someone, it's often the way to end a friendship. It is not the big things that suddenly end a friendship. Those are the things that finally snap it. The small things are what add up, the little pricks here and there that slowly make you resent a person. And then you get depressed because you no longer have that person. Or worse,
And I'll say it. Tell me that my friends are all lying to me and avoiding me because they don't like my parties.
Pinkie Pie is angry at her friends. Spike is not a character, he's a sounding board.
Your friends are all lying to you and avoiding you because they don't like your parties and they don't want to be your friends anymore.
I knew it.
And that anger leads to, I don't have any friends anymore.
Oh no, my friends don't like my parties and they don't want to be my friends anymore.
Also,
So,
when we finally let the anger go and realize we don't have the relationship with another person anymore, we fall into depression. Depression is also a self-repeating cycle. You're stuck in it without the help of others. You cannot pull yourself out of depression no matter how much you want to. I have been sitting in a room by myself with the lights off, doing nothing for hours because I am just depressed. And then someone sends me a message that says, "Hey, I haven't heard from you today. Do you want to come play Helldivers?" And at first I'm quiet. I don't really talk much. We just kind of play the video game together. Then something funny happens, or something stupid, or something that, gets elicits some emotion. And then I start talking. And then I turn the lights on. And then I actually realize I'm hungry and I haven't eaten today. Slowly but surely, because another person is intervening and preventing me from focusing on the fact I am upset and sad, the self-replicating cycle breaks itself. Because it can't keep replicating because I'm no longer focused on it, I'm no longer worried about it. You cannot break depression without the help of others. And in this episode, Pinkie Pie gets into depression and it takes her friends coming up to her and going, "No, that's not what's going on. Come over here, come back and be Pinkie Pie," for her to break her own depressive state. All of us have a variety of problems. The reason why adults watch this show is not because it's funny and just the kids find it funny. It's because we as adults were never taught these lessons as children, or because we have forgotten them. And now we have something directly in front of us that tells it to us in such a simple way that even a 6-year-old can understand it. And yet, it speaks volumes to individuals who need it. Now, I have your attention. The next few slides are not going to have a lot of pictures. This is intentional. I want you to listen to what I have to say and what I have to show, not be paying attention to the pictures. So, with that in mind, we've all been rejected, right? Whether it be your boss at work telling you, you don't get your promotion, or you asking someone out and it not working out, or you just wanting to go, hang out with your friends and your friends don't want to hang out for the day. Let's see how the show deals with it. This is an odd episode.
Leave me be, Twilight Sparkle. Princess, I'm sorry it hasn't worked out how we wanted. But you have to believe me when I tell you
Luna's
that
not
Nightmare
in
Night
on the joke.
is one of the most popular celebrations we
Therefore,
have.
everything that
Yes.
happens feels like she's being
Tell
rejected.
by all the adoring shrieks of the children as they run away.
Princess.
She doesn't know that the objective is to scare them. And because she's not in on the joke, it's not fun for her. This is where rejection starts, the lack of preparation. If you want someone to accept your idea, you need to make it less and less appealing to say no. You need to make it where saying no becomes more difficult. Suggesting a change at work to your boss doesn't do much. Suggesting a change to your boss at work and then having a plan for who's going to do what, how it's going to work out, and actually showing the results of what would happen if you implemented it makes it really hard for him to tell you no. Asking that other person out that you want to go on a date with becomes even more difficult if you make yourself appealing. I understand that we all have things we hate about ourselves. I hate my voice. Right now I hate my hair because my salon decided they were going to close last week and just tell everybody, hey, if you have an appointment, nope. And now I couldn't find anyone to do it. So here with white hair. But if you want to ask someone out, make it easier, make it more appealing. Make sure you've got the activity you want to do. Make sure that you're both interested in it. Make sure that you took a shower that day. Make sure you put on cologne. Wear some decent clothes that you both like and show who you are. And then go ask them out. It becomes much more difficult for them to say no. If you want something, you have to remember this tiny thing. The will to win does not matter. The will for preparation to win is all that counts. An Olympic swimmer does not win by just jumping in the water and going swimming. They have spent days of their life in that water, swimming over and over and over again. A person does not step up on stage and play a musical instrument out of the blue. They have rehearsed, practiced, and sat down with that instrument for months for that one song. I've written music for my books. I've had that music put to instrument and song. It took 11 weeks to go from a song I wrote for a book to actually having a piece of music that could be played. And much of that was just rehearsal. Now, everyone here has been rejected a little bit. Everyone here has had depression, at least at one point in your life. Let's talk about where that can lead and how the show deals with it, both a good intervention and a bad one. So for a start, let's do the bad one.
Breaking into a million pieces.
It should be noted that no one I have ever met actually wants to die.
Come on.
No
Come
one.
and see the pathetic and friendless Trixie's. Way to go, dum-dum. You really messed it up this time. Repentance tour.
That is a cry for help,
It's a
a cry for attention.
Behold, your
We all
fears
know
come
that she
true.
can't perform
A
this trick
boy-eating magical
at all. She said so herself earlier in the episode.
For
She
tonight,
simply
the great
cannot
and
do it. She
powerful
needs an
Trixie
assistant.
will be performing
But she's
the
doing it
moonshot
anyway.
manticore mouth dive.
Any person in a
Now, save
sane
your
state of
gasps
mind
for when I defy
would have canceled the show.
beast's jaws of doom and appear inside that black box. I was supposed to perform this trick with my great and powerful assistant, who was also my great and powerful friend.
The most common way that I have found in
Starlight,
studying
when I first came to Ponyville,
various
Princess
mental
Celestia gave me room to
illnesses
make my
for a
own
person to
decisions
want to end
and my own
everything
friends.
is through the end of a
I can't do the same
relationship,
for you.
whether that
I
relationship be a
shouldn't have tried to
significant
pick and
other
choose
or
your
a
friends for you.
best friend. It is the most common
Just like
way.
me, you have to make your own decisions and your own friends. But
However, this
he really
is not
was
what you should be doing.
just to one-up you.
Starlight and Twilight, you're both bad.
He's the real thing.
I can fix a whole mess
But it's not
of
like me.
problems. I can't
up
fix
to you.
dead. I should be stopping the attempt first.
Starlight?
And they do anything
if you're
but.
out there and you still want to be friends, let's be great and powerful together.
As I said, no one actually wants to die. So, the way I know that this would have been fatal is through use of biology. The amount of damage to her clothing is usually one of the last things to be destroyed by acid. The fact she's intact is because she's a magical cartoon horse. But based on state of delirium and state of her clothing, she had approximately 4.8 to 8.1 seconds remaining before she would have passed out, and approximately 10 seconds of life remaining. A stomach is not a place you want to be ever. It is very hostile to all forms of life. So with that in mind, let's take a look at a good intervention.
To help you decide something?
Rock
So I had to
makes
pirate this
Captain Sparrow
episode?
Turn him into a statue.
Which is why we have Russian
Answer is
subtitles.
No.
Well, should be I, because I wouldn't even be here to be turned into a statue if Twilight hadn't cast a spell in the first place.
Whoa, I thought you were arguing over ice cream flavors.
The
Now,
answer
Twilight's
is still no.
trying here.
Why would you want to be turned into stone?
But she doesn't know what
Because
to
I'm
do
a
or how to
relic
do
of a
it.
bygone age. I belong in a museum, safe.
We also
preserved,
know
untouched.
that Twilight's version
I
of the
don't
spell
belong in this time.
can't be
it's
undone.
Up to you to make that right.
It's not the
has
cockatrice
to
and
be a
it's
better
not
way.
Twilight,
the
please
elements of harmony.
understand.
It's a
I want to
unique
be
version of the
remembered
spell
as
she
hero
got from
I
Star
was,
Swirl.
not the
We learned
disappointment
this
you
earlier in the
become.
episode.
But you're not. Rockov, wait! Dragon said you
So,
want to
first
turn into
thing.
stone.
Stop them, physically if necessary.
I'm afraid it's true, lass.
But Tommy need finish Ursa major story for class.
It's sweet of
Remind
you to
them
try to
of
get me
what
to
they
stay,
mean
Yona.
to you.
But I'm afraid old stories like mine aren't worth anything in this day and age.
Fine. If Pony no want tell Yona story, then Yona tell Pony story.
Be detailed.
From class report.
Make
When
them
Yona come
focus
to Pony
on
school,
the
Yona
meaningful,
not fit in.
wonderful
Always
happiness of the
strange.
relationship you have with
Yona
them.
find friends. Yona meet Professor Rockhoof. Pony brave and strong as Yak. Not afraid. Hero. When Yona grow up, Yona want to be just like Professor Rockhoof.
Well, since you went to the trouble of writing something that nice, I suppose the least I could do is tell you the rest of the story.
And then, with
Yona tell
time,
whole school Rockhoof
effort,
is best.
probably
Now
therapy,
all wanna hear story.
give them a new purpose for living.
Okay.
Once you stop the attempt, you're not just pulling them back. They're still in the woods. You need to bring them back to the house. What that means is they still are on the point where they need something to do to get them refocused on their life. That little yak is best creature to me because she just did what is effectively 12 to 24 months of therapy in 5 minutes. She stopped Rockhoof from wanting to end his life, stopped him from wanting to be turned to stone, explained to him what he meant to her, probably became his new best friend, and for absolute over the top, made sure he had a new reason to live so he would never go back to the place he was. That is very, very powerful. And I wish I would have known that when I was younger and had to deal with some of my friends who aren't here anymore. So now we're going to go over some more lighthearted stuff. Just kind of mellow it out a little bit before we get to the end. So, how many of you are Fluttershy's? Wait, don't raise your hand. I'm not that mean. But let's look at how you take a person from being a wallflower to the one dragging you there. Did we lose?
That before.
There we go.
It was like a little slice of heaven. Red ice cream on top.
This is not how you do it.
Shy. I cannot
You
believe
cannot
this
take a person who is shy and bashful and immediately drag them out and put them on a stage. Not going to work.
Especially since you're having us perform for your Ponyville Pet Center fundraiser tomorrow night. Well, you see, This simply must be
Because
rectified.
in
You
reality,
must share that stunning voice at the event.
this is what's going through their mind.
You'd be there on stage, basking in the hooflights, the center of attention, a shining star, with every pony staring at you, judging you, jealously noting how they could be way better than you. Why wasn't it them? Why wasn't it
Yeah.
them? When you choke, they'll turn on you, becoming a seething, angry mob, and you'll be horribly humiliated, never able to show your face in Ponyville again! Pinkie Pie! Don't be ridiculous!
Hold on. Do that again. She deserves it.
Pinkie Pie! Don't be ridiculous!
Thank you. So how do you get a shy, bashful, Fluttershy of a person to come to a convention? Well, first, you have to be their shield. To pull a shy person out, you invite them to things they want to do. You keep inviting them even if they say no. You reassure them. You do everything you can. Then when they finally come, you make sure that you don't let them get lost. You make sure you don't let them get overwhelmed. You let them hide behind you if necessary. And gradually, with time, through this exposure, they become more comfortable. Eventually, they go from hiding behind you to walking beside you. And then they start dragging you to events because they realize they don't have to be afraid anymore. And I say they start dragging you to events. No, I mean that literally. I get dragged to events by my wife now, whether I want to or not. And before, I couldn't get my wife to hardly leave the house. She's actually at Comic-Con London by herself right now, upset that I'm not there. And I'm like, well, I told you could come to Italy with me instead. And she just said, no, I want to go to this. But once that shy person develops, this is what you get.
What did you say?
No.
See, I couldn't believe this happened either.
Because Iron Will is going to rain down a world of hurt unless Iron Will gets his money. Pronto!
As I recall, during your workshop you promised 100% satisfaction guaranteed or you pay nothing. Well, I'm not satisfied.
What do you mean you're not satisfied? Every pony has always been satisfied.
Well, I guess I'm the first then. But since I'm not satisfied, I refuse to pay. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, no, that's how I felt when I saw this. This is seasons of character development coming to fruition.
You sure you're not just a little bit satisfied? Because maybe we could cut a deal. I mean, we're both reasonable creatures, aren't we?
I'm sorry, but no means no.
No means no, huh? Nobody's ever said that to me before. Huh. I gotta remember that one. That's a good catchphrase for my next workshop.
I mean, no does mean no. However, you need to assure a socially anxious person that they can be safe. You need to get them to stop focusing on the fact there are hundreds of people around them and instead focus on the fact that there's one that they want to talk to. And then maybe two, and three, and so on. One of the craziest things I've ever done to help a socially anxious person is run a D&D game for them for months. Until they started being the GM, and now they drag me to their game every week, whether I want to or not. Even when I'm traveling, I get the invite and attend the game virtually because that's how much they've gotten into it and how much they need that now social interaction. Whereas before, I could not even get this friend of mine to talk. Getting them to go to a convention, they literally had to hide behind me at the last Nightmare Nights in Dallas, Texas, for the entire convention. They would not leave the room unless I walked up to them and said, okay, come on. And I'm a guest, so everyone just thought they were my handler. Now, to all you shippers out there, it's fine to ship fictional characters. This is perfectly fine. Please stop shipping your friends. Please stop shipping your friends. Having been trained to be a marriage counselor, the number one thing that comes up is, how did you two meet? Oh, our friends introduced us. And the marriage counselor immediately goes, we're going to be here a while. Because most of the time, the two people may seem like a good match to you, but this is not a romantic comedy. This is not a movie. Those two people are not dating for a reason. If they want to date, they will. But don't hook up your friends. Let them find the right person when the right time is theirs. And just be there for them in case things go horribly wrong. Looking at you, Greedy Mark Crusaders. Now, this is what it feels like for a lot of people to clock into work. I know this is a little over-exaggeration, but you feel your individuality sapped away. You wear a uniform. You may or may not have a name tag. You're a cog. And so each other person must put on your customer service face. However, in reality, from various studies, both in the United States, the United Kingdom, and France, if you allow workers to have individuality,
He's gonna get away!
they're not only happier and more productive, they sometimes will work for you for less money.
This is where I first met Starlight.
Which is the strangest thing I've ever had to say to someone. The American corporatized environment doesn't work, statistically. So let them have it. And I'm going to go over a variety of examples when I can bring my notes back up of all of the various ways that things can be done.
Yeehaw! Finally, I can buck like a 5-bit snake herder in an Appaloosa ranch house again.
I'm from Alabama. I trained away my southern accent. That hurt my soul. So, if an employee wants to wear a pin on their uniform, let them. So long as it doesn't cause a safety hazard, who cares? If an employee wants to decorate their office space with death metal posters and My Little Pony figurines, I don't care. Are they being efficient? Who cares? So long as they're not disrupting anyone else, it doesn't matter. If an employee wants to work from home because they have a kid they need to take care of, so long as their productivity doesn't slip, I don't care. Why should I? Let the employees work how they want at their pace. They will be more productive. They will do it often for less money because they're happier. And they genuinely will cause less problems. We all, when we clock into our day jobs, well, I don't, but that's because my day job is doing this. But when you clock into your day job, you put on a face. You put on a different part of yourself. You disassociate. You turn things off. Make work suck less however you can. And instead, it will become easier for everyone to do. I don't have a clip for this one. Don't be either one of these two. Find a nice, happy middle ground, please. You're not Baka, I don't have any feelings. And you're also not, I feel everything and want to talk about it. No, find the happy middle ground. Find the balance. But don't be either of these. Also, yes, Spike made his own friendship problem in his own episode. Entirely of his own creation. Little white lies don't hurt anybody, right? Absolutely not, right? Just it's fine. Thought you thought this was gonna be an Applejack episode, didn't you?
Levi, wait! Because getting rid of all
Also,
those pies
hearing
was a
Rainbow
giant
Horse scream, "I don't like pie," had me laughing for
pies you made
days.
for me over the years? Yes, I know exactly how many. I have a very detailed piling system. Of course
Yeah.
you do. The point is,
A friend will
the
keep
hassle was
doing
worth it
something
just
that
to
they
spare your
think you
feelings.
like
But I was wrong.
because they
So,
think you
to
like
make
it.
up for it,